Welcome back to your daily news recap. Today we're covering a wide range of stories, from Turkey's efforts to curb inflation to new forecasts from Goldman Sachs on the upcoming U.S. election. We'll also dive into Ford's patent for in-car advertisements, a critical report on the Biden administration's withdrawal from Afghanistan, growing concerns about lithium-ion batteries overheating during air travel, and Donald Trump's latest stance on marijuana legalization. Let's get into the details. Turkey's annual inflation rate dropped to 52% in August, a decline from July's rate of 61.8%, according to official data. This is a positive sign for the country, which has been battling rising prices for years. The central bank has been steadily raising interest rates to combat inflation, which hit a staggering peak of 85% in October 2022. One of the biggest contributors to inflation in August was the education sector, where prices surged by 120.8%. Housing also saw a sharp rise at 101.5%, followed by hotels and restaurants, which increased by 67.7%. Despite these hikes, the central bank forecasts that inflation will fall to 43.3% by the end of 2024. However, independent economists are skeptical, estimating the actual inflation rate to be closer to 90.35%. The Turkish government has resisted raising the minimum wage to help control inflation, though experts say it's still an uphill battle. The central bank has stated that it is committed to bringing down inflation, but acknowledges that it will take time. Goldman Sachs recently released a report predicting that U.S. economic growth could get a significant boost over the next 2 years if Kamala Harris and the Democrats win the upcoming election. The bank believes new spending initiatives and expanded tax credits for middle-income families would offset the negative effects of higher corporate tax rates, leading to a small increase in GDP growth between 2025 and 2026. On the flip side, Goldman warned that a Republican victory, especially under Donald Trump, could hurt the economy. They predict that the hit to growth from tariffs and stricter immigration policies would outweigh any fiscal gains, reducing GDP growth by as much as 0.5 percentage points by late 2025. Goldman also forecasts stronger job growth under a Democratic administration, estimating that job creation could be 10,000 to 30,000 jobs higher per month compared to a Republican win. The report also suggested that Trump's policies, such as increased tariffs on imports from China, Mexico, and the EU, could lead to higher inflation. Ford Motor Company is exploring new ways to monetize its vehicles. The company recently filed a patent for a system that would display advertisements based on factors like the car's location, speed, and even its drive mode. This isn't Ford's first foray into in-car ads. Back in 2021, the company filed another patent that proposed using vehicle cameras to detect roadside billboards and show related ads on the car's infotainment screen. While Ford says these patents don't necessarily reflect future product plans, they do indicate that the company is exploring creative ways to engage with drivers and passengers in their vehicles. A 3-year investigation led by Representative Michael McCaul has delivered a scathing critique of the Biden administration's handling of the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan in 2021. The report claims that the decision to evacuate non-combatants was delayed until August 16, which severely hampered the effort to get people out safely. The investigation also points to a lack of effective communication between Washington and officials on the ground in Afghanistan, leading to a mishandling of the paperwork required to evacuate Afghan civilians eligible for departure. According to the report, the withdrawal left Afghan allies vulnerable to Taliban reprisals, tarnishing America's reputation on the world stage. The report further claims that Biden's decision to pull U.S. troops from Afghanistan was based more on his personal views rather than the advice of military leaders, allies, or the security situation at the time. A new report highlights a growing concern over lithium-ion batteries overheating during air travel. According to data from UL standards, incidents of overheating have risen by 28% between 2019 and 2023. While the odds of an incident occurring on any given flight remain very low, around 2 thermal runway incidents are now recorded each week on passenger or cargo planes in the U.S. E-cigarettes are the most common culprits, responsible for 35% of these incidents, followed by power banks at 16%. Most of these incidents occur in or around passengers' seats. Despite TSA rules prohibiting e-cigarettes and power banks in checked luggage, more than a quarter of passengers surveyed admitted to packing them in their checked bags. The report stresses the need for better education on the risks of carrying these devices and recommends that airlines provide regular training for flight crews to handle battery-related incidents effectively. Donald Trump has publicly supported a ballot initiative in Florida that would legalize recreational marijuana use for adults 21 and older. The former president made the announcement on Truth Social, saying he will vote yes on Amendment 3 this November. Trump's endorsement puts him at odds with some other Republican leaders, including Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who opposes the measure. In his statement, Trump also threw his support behind legislative efforts to make it easier for banks to serve cannabis-related businesses, which has been an ongoing issue since his first term. He reiterated his commitment to researching marijuana's medical uses and plans to work with Congress to push common-sense marijuana reforms if elected president. That's all for tonight's news update. Thank you for joining us. We'll continue to monitor these stories and bring you the latest developments. Stay safe, stay informed, and have a good night. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update.